So hey YouTube, I'm 13 weeks and 1 day today, so I'm doing my 13-week pregnancy vlog. I'm feeling a little nauseous, so it's hard for me to talk when I feel nauseous, so I gotta speak like at a certain volume. Anyway, symptoms for week 13. Week 13 was the worst week I've had this entire pregnancy. The worst week ever. Okay, now I'm being serious. Like, far out, man. It was just horrible. First day of week 13, I couldn't eat. Didn't eat until like the end of the day, which had been over 24 hours since eating. And in order for me to eat, I had to vomit, so I threw up, I ate, and I just felt sick. So then there was the case of keeping it down, and yeah, it was just horrible. And the whole week, I was just vomiting at least once or twice a day. That was horrible, give or take 1 or 2 days where I didn't actually throw up. I could barely eat anything. It was really bad, and sometimes I would just force it. And sometimes when I would just force it, like an hour or two later, I would just throw it back up. Yeah, it was just pretty bad. I think like I went a couple of days without eating. Like it was just horrible. And when I forced myself, it would be because I was worried, about the baby. And it was just kind of scaring me because I could see myself losing weight. And food, just my enemy. I couldn't even cook a hot meal for Felisa. I had to give her like, fruits or something that didn't like, trigger my smell, like, my senses. Or I would be up in the kitchen, like literally holding my nose. Like, actually, that was all the time. When I walked out of the bedroom, I had to be holding my nose so I wouldn't smell. But then I would remember what the smell smelled like, and like I would feel like I would be tasting the actual smell. And it just made me want to vomit, and it was bad. It was pretty bad. It was hard for me to do anything other than lay down. Being a mom was hard with nausea. Being a housewife was out the door. That's for sure. Actually, being a housewife was out the door ever since like we got back from Brisbane. I couldn't leave the bedroom because of the smell, and it got to the point where I had to close the window because we live in an apartment, so I could smell everyone's cooking, and it was just horrible. Hated it. Man, it was the worst. Damn, that was the worst week I've ever had with morning sickness. My other weeks, like, I was pretty bad too, but at least I could eat. Like, there was always just something that I could eat. This week, on my 13th week, it was hard for me to try to pin down what I can eat. And, like, sometimes, like, I remember there was this one, I told Joe, my husband, that I might be able to eat potatoes if he would just bake the potato. And then he brought it into the room for me to eat, and I could just smell it off the plate, and I was just like, no, not happening. So yeah, it was kind of frustrating. Even Joe was, I could tell he was a little frustrated. I felt really sorry for him because he was worried about me too as well, like, trying to get me to eat. We have a baby inside me that we need to feed, and I wasn't eating anything, so it was a pretty tough week, I gotta say. The toughest week we've had so far. He was like going in and out of the shops, going everywhere trying to find something that I can eat, only to come back and give me something and I wouldn't be able to eat it, like how frustrating would that be? So it was just, worst week ever. I'm feeling a lot better now though. Day 6 of week 13, I got better. It seriously felt like the longest week ever. But my mood has been extremely emotional. I don't get like, bitchy. Like my first pregnancy, I was not nice. I was not nice. Like I wasn't a nice, no, I was not the nice, pregnant lady, but who is? I'm the emotional pregnant lady now. Yeah, I could cry easily. I was watching the VMAs the other day from last year, and I cried when Beyonce performed her song for her daughter. I cried when she sung that, and then I cried when Jay-Z gave her the award. Like I was just bawling it. Like seriously, it wasn't just like a tear. It was like hard out, like type of crying. I then decided to watch her live performance of Resentment, and yeah, I cried. I couldn't help it but cry. And then my husband was out at the time, and then he came back, and I was like crying, and I had to like quickly wipe away my tears because I do not like crying in front of anyone. Even my husband, like even like if we're having an argument and I start crying, like it pisses me off. Anyway, that's a bit TMI and random. My immune system. That has got to be the most annoying thing, well, second annoying thing after nausea. The most, annoying thing about pregnancy is the fact that my immune system is like hella weak now. Like, come on, are you serious? How weak can you get? Like, when I'm not pregnant, when I'm my normal self, I don't get sick. I do get sick. But, like, I get sick, like, once a year? Or something like that. Like, it's rare. Ever since we've been back from Brisbane, I've been sick, like, twice. Within, like, 3 weeks. It's every time my daughter gets sick. I think it's just, there's a lot of change of, like, there's change in the weather is just, like, drastic. It's really bad. So I've just been getting sick, like, easily. Like, once she gets sick, I get sick. And it's not like I could stay away from her either, like, while she's sick. If it was Joe, then that would probably be a different story. But with Felisa, you have to be kind of hands-on. So, she was coughing in my face and stuff, and sneezing everywhere, and just, I got sick instantly. I'm recovering now, but my throat's still a bit bleh. I've been getting backaches as well. Not too bad. I think they're just due to hormones right now, the back pain, because baby's definitely nowhere near heavy enough for her to make any impact on my back at the moment. Well, not that I'm aware of. I think that pretty much sums it up for all my symptoms. I did have a doctor's appointment, and let me just tell you what happened. It's kind of bad. But anyway, so I got really worried during week 13 because I had my doctor's appointment and she gave me a yellow card. A yellow card is just a card that you are given, for those that don't know. Yellow card is just given to you when you're pregnant, and the doctor fills it out every time you go in and see them. And, get a pregnancy examination, whatever type thing. They measure the size of the baby. So pretty much like from your pubic bone to some other area, I don't know. Yeah, they measure that and they put it down and, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever they do. Your blood pressure as well and your weight. Yes, that's how they keep track of things. So I was given my yellow card. It was time to listen to the baby's heartbeat, and you use a fetal Doppler, which is, I'll show you a picture of it. There's different types actually, but they all do the same thing, which is hear the baby's heartbeat. So when you normally go into your appointment and to hear the baby's heartbeat, it usually takes a while to find the baby's heartbeat. Like, you could be there for a good 5 minutes just freaking out over not hearing your baby's heartbeat, or how the doctor's not finding your heartbeat. I was already used to this because I've been pregnant before, so I knew what to expect. This is where it gets kind of horrible. So the doctor is using the fetal Doppler on my stomach to listen out for the baby's heartbeat. So we find mine. It's a pulse or whatever, I don't know. You can hear your heartbeat from your stomach. And then she moves it all the way to the other side of my stomach, and then there's another pulse there as well. And I'm pretty sure that was the placenta that we heard. But she surprised me and she goes to me, "That's the baby's heartbeat." And I was just like, I didn't even say anything. I was just like, what? Like, in my head, I was just like, that doesn't make sense. That sounds like identical to mine. And then she goes back, like, I think she just noticed my stunned silence. And like, she went back to the other side of my stomach and goes, "This is your heartbeat." And then she goes to the other side and goes, "That's the baby's." And I'm still like, what the? Because, like, seriously, it sounded exactly like mine. It was just, they were in sync. Like, seriously, they were seriously in sync. And I was just like, that's probably like some other pulse of mine or something. And I'm just like, I looked at her and I was like, "Is the baby okay?" And then she was like, "Yeah, yeah." And she was saying like, "Oh, because it's early, the baby might be sleeping," or some bullshit like that. And I was just like, okay then. I was so like, I could not believe that, like, the baby's heartbeat sounded exactly like mine. I don't know, like, maybe I still could be wrong, but like, seriously, that is dead set not the baby's heartbeat. Okay, like, seriously, you just cannot tell me that's the baby's heartbeat. And she was so, like, she's saying to me that I'm early, and I'm just like, dude, I'm like 12 weeks, I'm like almost 3 months. I'm almost 3 months pregnant. I'm not that early. But yeah, I was just like, I don't know, when I got out of the doctor's office, I was just like, I was so worried. I was just like, is that really the baby's heartbeat? Like, damn. And like, I had to keep thinking about it, and like, I slowly pieced it together. Like, it took me ages, like days, ages, to piece it together that, like, she was full of, like, that's not the baby's heartbeat. And it was because it took her like 20 seconds to find it. And she was able to find it twice, like, with no problem whatsoever. The so-called baby's heartbeat. Seriously, go listen to a baby's heartbeat if you have not heard it. Like, an adult's heartbeat is what, 100 to 110 beats per minute or something like that. I'm not too sure. And I know that a baby, like, roughly around the same age as mine, normal heartbeat would be about 120 to 140 beats per minute. So it's relatively faster than our actual heartbeat. And I swear the heartbeat that she showed me was in sync with mine. And I'm just like, what the f***, this isn't right, And like, seriously, it just had me worried because she was telling me, reassuring me that it's okay, that the baby's fine. And I'm just like, but baby's heartbeat doesn't sound like that. Like, I guess I didn't push it because I was just so unsure. I was just so surprised, I was just like, what the f-? I think about it now and I'm just like, I'm so sure that that's not the baby's heartbeat. Actually, I know it isn't. Anyone who's, like, who's heard a baby's heartbeat, it's like, it's pretty fast. I think one of the reasons why she, just told me that that was the baby's heartbeat was because she might have been in a rush. Which I know is no excuse for a doctor, but she is going through quite a bit of stuff at the moment. So I will give her that. I am going to give her another chance because I do really like this doctor. My husband reckons, don't give her another chance. I do plan on getting my own Doppler though, especially because of this little scare that I had. I was just like, I think I need to get my own so I can check for myself, But yeah, that pretty much sums up, like, week 13 for me. Week 13 was, like, one of my toughest weeks so far. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!